Hello, everybody. You know me. Okay, no, you don't, but you know who I am. I'm Issa J, and alright, it's the Raw after a horrible backlash. Oh man, if you are like trying to get back into wrestling, this is a show that will definitely keep you away for a long. That show will definitely keep you away for a long time. Backlash was outright horrible. But luckily for me, I don't have to do the was it worth it, and it's the was it worth it for the Raw. So let's hope that they made something better. All right, so the show opens up with Kurt Angle coming out and basically doing what Kurt does. He addresses the crowd and he basically says some of the matches that are about to happen later on in the night. Braun Strowman comes out and he's like, "Yo, I want a qualifying match against whoever for Money in the Bank." And it was like, "Oh, okay, cool." What was really funny though was Braun Strowman's story about how kids didn't include him in things, so his retaliation was to just knock over the treehouse with the kids inside. Okay, writers, you're okay. But then Kevin Owens comes out and he demands uh, to be inserted into the Money in the Bank, not have a qualifying match, would be inserted straight into it. However, it becomes Braun Strowman and Kevin Owens after the commercial break. So it was a okay segment. It was, I guess it was worth it to start off the show. Had Braun Strowman being really funny, Kevin Owens on the mic, and he's really good on the mic, and Kurt Angle was fine. He didn't screw up too badly here. So yeah, sure, why not? It was worth it. Then we actually had the match, and Braun Strowman did have a lot more of the offense until a certain turning point, which gave Kevin Owens a really good offense. It kept him offensively in the lead, kind of, sort of. So that was really good, and he kept trying to keep him counting, kept trying to get him counted out, which was cool. Of course, Braun Strowman does win after the running power slam, but I thought with the big monster and the smaller guy, who's not that small to begin with, I thought they did a really good job with it, and it wasn't just a complete and utter squash match. So that was nice. So yeah, this one was worth it. Then we had Roman backstage. Yes, we had Roman Reigns backstage doing an interview, and it was basically him complaining about management and saying that backstage politics, blah 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 blah. No, it was boring. It was unconvincing. We all know he is a very popular guy backstage, and if it was coming, if it came down to politicking or politics, he would be able to easily get all the gold because everyone loves him backstage. So this was not very interesting at all. So no, this wasn't worth it. And then we had Goldust say, "Hey, I want to be in a qualifying match." And then Jinder Mahal comes out and says, "I want to be inserted because Roman Reigns doesn't deserve it. He squandered too many opportunities." And basically, it ends with Jinder getting thrown into a match with uh, Gable, um, Ready, Willing, and Gable, and uh, mm, I didn't, I didn't really care for this. I guess Goldust is not getting a qualifying match, and the whole thing with Jinder was just a bit weird. They presented it very weird. So no, this wasn't worth it either. Then we had No Way Jose and Titus Worldwide versus the Revival and Baron Corbin. And I actually dug this match. I actually enjoyed it. Um, yeah, they're not doing a lot with the Revival. They're basically just pushing them down in the dirt. Get the burial is continually happening, but at least they technically did get a win because Baron Corbin, after a end of days, gets the win off of No Way Jose, especially after last week's fluke win for No Way Jose. So this was very interesting. This was, and I actually thought all 6 men had good chemistry together, and the Revival is a great tag team, so they are always going to have good stuff coming out. So that was really cool. So yes, this one was worth it. All right, then we had Sasha Banks versus Ember Moon versus Ruby Riott, and there was a triple threat to qualify for the women's Money in the Bank. So the second qualifying match for a Money in the Bank. This one just being the first for the women's. And this one was really good. Really good. The crowd was stupid because this was probably my favorite match of the night. You had Ember Moon doing amazing stuff. The Riot Squad with Ruby Riott doing amazing stuff. Sasha Banks doing amazing stuff. And it kept going back and forth, back and forth. You never knew who was going to win. There was a time where I thought they were going to give it to Ruby Riott, or there was a time where I thought they were going to give it to Sasha Banks. However, my personal favorite out of these three did get the win. Ember Moon, after hitting a double eclipse, gets the pin off of Ruby Riott, and this one was such a good match. It was so great. I absolutely loved it, and I absolutely loved the finish, and I absolutely loved who got the win because Ember Moon totally deserved it. So yes, this one was without a doubt 100% worth it. All right, then we had an Ember Moon interview backstage, and it was not good at all. Unfortunately, the writers were just like, oh, here is a bunch of puns because of your name. Say those, and it was very stilted, and it was jarring. It wasn't good at all. Luckily, we don't have to worry about that because she's in Money in the Bank, and that's all that matters. Oh boy! All right, then we had Bobby Lashley have like a hype package about his childhood and how he grew up, and that was cool. That was good. It definitely makes you see like, oh, he's an all-around American. He's a athlete. He's a military man. And that was fine. And then we got to the interview. And what the heck happened here? He just starts talking about his 3 sisters and how they tortured him, tied him up, tied him up and just left him for hours. Beat him up with a broom, punched him so hard he gets a scar on his eye, and it's just, what? What was this? Okay, sure, why not? It was worth it just to see how bizarre it was, because it made absolutely no sense. So go check it out just for that. All right, then we had Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens backstage. And it was basically Sami Zayn saying, hey, you need to have my back in this triple threat. I need to qualify. And Kevin Owens still mad about getting punched in the face at BackLash. Yeah, it was weird, but really good because these two guys are really compelling and their characters are just fantastic. So yeah, this one was one of the better backstage segments of the night. It was worth it. Then we had Jinder Mahal versus Chad Gable. And it was a good match. I can say that. It wasn't anything too fantastic. Nothing like what Seth Rollins, Kevin Owens, and all the massive workhorses put on. But for what they did, it was serviceable. Jinder does win, and for the first time that I've ever seen, he wins without any interference with Sunil Singh. So that was cool. After the class, 1, 2, 3, Gender wins, and he's just celebrating. He's like, yeah, Sunil does get into Chad Gable's face, and Chad Gable retaliates. And Chad was wrestling a lot like a heel. At one point, he rolled up Gender and he pulled the tights, which was like, you're not a heel anymore, right? I don't think he does. But yeah, he pushes Sunil, and then as retaliation, Gender just beats down Chad Gable. Uh, it was almost as if a guy is just protecting his much smaller friend. That's what it looked like. That's what it came across on the screen. So it was fine, sure, whatever. Uh, Go check it out. It wasn't not worth it. It wasn't a boring match, but it didn't have that flair that a lot of these other guys can add. So sure, it was worth it. Why not? And then we had then we had Kurt talking on the phone about something. Don't care. Then we had Zack Ryder say he wants a Money in the Bank qualifying match opportunity, and he doesn't get it, not even a little bit. No one cares about Zack Ryder. And then Jinder Mahal comes back out and is like, yeah, did you see? I want it added into the triple threat tonight. I wanted to make a fatal four-way. And Kurt Angle says no. Jinder gets really mad, and he again mentions Roman Reigns, and he just leaves, and no, these backstage segments suck this week. I hated it. I really did. It made no sense, and I see a release from Zack Ryder in the near future. All right, then we had Heath Slater and Rhino versus Drew McIntyre and Dolph Ziggler. It was a squash match. It was cool to see 2 out of the 3MB members in a match together, but it wasn't anything really special. Like I said, it was a squash match. The only good coming out of this is Ziggler and McIntyre together as a team. They're doing a lot of good stuff together. But I didn't care for the squash aspect of it all. But the zigzag Claymore combo looks really, really cool. I absolutely dig that finisher. All right, then we have Bobby Roode versus Elias, and unfortunately Bobby wins, so it was like this feud went nowhere, and it happened in a span of just 3 weeks. So what was the point of this? I don't know. The match was fine. The match was good. I guess technically it was worth it, but it wasn't. Like a lot of the matches this week, except for a select few, there wasn't that extra mile. It was just a lot of okay. But hey, if you like Bobby Roode, he does get the win after a glorious DDT, so that's cool. But no one wants to see Elias lose right at the minute because he's bloody fantastic. Okay, so then Seth Rollins comes out and does like a little bitty promo, and it was fine. It was worth it. Sure, go ahead. He basically is saying that after beating The Miz in the best match of the night at Backlash, he didn't add that, but let's face it, it's true. Yeah, he's gonna be a fighting champion, and he has an open challenge for the Intercontinental Champion and Mojo Rawley. He's the one who answers the call. So yeah, that was fine. It was worth it. And they had a really good moment with the crowd saying, "We want Ryder," and Mojo Rawley being like, "I'm gonna beat you down just like I did Ryder," just to get the crowd riled up, which was cool. Seth Rollins versus Mojo Rawley for the Intercontinental Championship, and this was actually a fine match. Both guys worked well together. Mojo Rawley actually looked good against Seth Rollins, and it was actually really, really cool to see Seth Rollins after the win just feel like, wow, I just went through an unexpected battle. I didn't expect to have to fight so hard to keep my championship. And Seth Rollins is putting on class after class, almost masterclass after masterclass. He's not there yet, but if he keeps working on it, he'll get there. So yeah, I absolutely, completely enjoyed this match. Yes, it was worth it, and yeah, Mojo Rawley actually got some screen time. Cool. But at least Seth won. All right, so then we had Bo Dallas and Curtis Axel as the Miz Taraj versus the Woken Universe, or the Leader of Worlds, Woken Matt Hardy and Woken Bray Wyatt. And yes, the Woken Universe did win, but and I didn't really. I want to see Bo Dallas and Curtis Axel do more. I don't want to see them delegated to this type of role. So unfortunately, I have to give this one a no. It wasn't worth it. It was just very, very underwhelming. But hey, it was fine. It was serviceable if you like the Woken Universe. But for me, I have to say no, it wasn't worth it just because I want to see Bo Dallas and Curtis Axel get a lot more opportunities in the future. And then our final match of the night, we had Finn Balor versus Roman Reigns versus Sami Zayn. And this was a great match. Not as good as the women's triple threat, in my opinion, because the women's triple threat was my favorite. However, this was still a great match. And one of the greatest moments was when Roman Reigns is just standing there, and you see Finn Balor, and you see Sami Zayn look at each other, and the crowd starts cheering, and they double team onto Roman Reigns, and the crowd goes wild. They are cheering for this, and it's like, okay, turn Roman heel already, because that's exactly what all these people want. But whatever, you do you, WWE. And they get him out of the match, and then Sami Zayn attacks Finn, and it's a great back and forth. Great back and forth. And you think Kevin Owens would come out and help, but he does not come out into this match at all. He basically has already left the building, allegedly. But Roman Reigns, he's about to win, and then Jinder Mahal screws Roman out of the win, which is great. And Finn Balor gets the win. Finn Balor, after a coup de grace on Sami Zayn, gets the 1, 2, 3, and yeah, it was totally fine. It was worth it. It was a good main event, and it is shaping up Money in the Bank for something pretty cool. We already have Braun Strowman and Finn Balor, so can't wait to see all eight participants coming out. So that'll be really fun, really cool. And yeah, overall this show, yeah, had a lot of low when they had low points, it was really hard to get through. But when they had high points, it was really fun. So sometimes you just have to take that as it is. And unfortunately for this week, there's a lot of meh. But hey, what can you do? We aren't booking it. We aren't writing it. But it's okay, because at least now the backlash nastiness is out of our system. But yeah, overall, this was a pretty decent episode of Raw. Yes, it was worth it. Thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to give us those sexy likes. Don't forget to share to all of your friends and enemies. And if you like what we do, hit the subscribe button and become part of the Smarky family. And after that, hit the notification bell. Once you do that, you will be notified when we go live, which we do for every pay-per-view, except for the big four. And every Sunday, we have our shooting with the Smarky family podcast. However, we will not be doing it this week because this Sunday is Mother's Day. Last Sunday we weren't able to do it because scheduling conflicts, and this week we are not able to do it because of Mother's Day. Happy Mother's Day to all the mothers out there. However, we will be doing it the week after. We will come back 1 to 2 Central Standard Time, And check out all of our shows. Was It Worth It? Predictions and discussions. And a couple new shows are on the horizon, everybody. More info when that comes around. But thanks again so much for watching. And until next time, it will be awesome.